Why, hello, and welcome back to another episode of Voice of the Rings. I'm your host and guide, Zollin Ironshield, and I'm here with Jethros again. And today we're doing a quick guide PvP video on Aragorn II. Alright, and this is not the King of Men. This is the regular commander version of him when he's a ranger. Alright, we're going to talk you through. We're going to just assume you have them respect 5 and that you know about stats and stuff. We have guide videos on that, but this is a quick guide to kind of help you choose stuff. Your build, you know, what good items are with him, that kind of stuff. So we'll get straight into it. So for our first thing today we're going to cover is Jethros. What is like the ideal PvP skills you do for your 2 skills if, let's say, you can get up to level 40 with this commander?
Yeah, pretty much I would max out his R3 Strider first.
Okay.
I think it does a really high amount of damage over the course of the whole fight. And it gives the Keen Eye skill, which I believe is Pursuit of the Old.
Ignores target's evasion. Yep.
So that's pretty consistent that will hit and other effects won't resist it. Mm-hmm. And then after that I would max Enduril. It actually does a lot of damage too. And it increases your damage dealt by +10 for 2 rounds. So even though I would max Strider first, if you were to respec, you would probably want to put 1 point into Enduril first. Okay. So that +10 damage is triggering before, if there's ever any rounds where Enduril and Strider trigger on the same round.
Okay.
Yep,
that's something...
but that will happen eventually, so it's worth putting them in order.
Drop your first point into Enduril. Always. And then max this out, then max out.
Yeah, you could just do it that way if you're one who doesn't want to use gems to respec characters. Okay.
Now let's say they have a little bit of extra and they've got these both maxed. What would you drop your last like 2 or 3 points if they're like level 44 or something?
Assuming we have respect 5, then I would probably put it into the respect 5 tree. But that'll only work for men units.
Yeah.
So you could do Dunedain Chieftain for a little bit more versatility.
Just a little
so that doesn't matter what units he has.
Okay. If they don't have men. All right, cool. Well, that was pretty self-explanatory. Pretty good job. Thank you so much, Jethros. So then let's go into what would be, I'm going to flip cameras here to this side. What would be the ideal stats that you'd shoot for with items for him in order? We usually have been doing order of what's the most important for these quick guide videos. So I'll let Jethros take that away.
Yeah, so basically for Aragorn 2, you would go ahead and do damage first as a priority stat from any weapon, armor piece, whatever it is that gives damage, and then attack for the commander.
He's really a damage dealer.
He's a damage dealer through and through. That's how he's going to be the strongest.
And then what would be your 3rd and 4th maybe, like initiative and HP?
For 3rd and 4th, I would probably recommend unit defense and command, just to make sure whatever unit he has is sustainable, that they won't get killed too quickly.
Yeah, and unit defense would be actually on the item itself, which I don't know. These are not the ideal items. We're going to talk about those in a minute. I don't use this character, so these are just stuck on there. So now we kind of know the order of those. We're going to hop over to the Matham House to look at the item options. So we'll start with the weapon, the ideal kind of weapon in slot that you're going to go for with the gold one first. So what do you think is a good one for
the Axe of Khazad-dûm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's very close to what I use with Gimli. And then maybe a secondary would be like the Black Bow?
Yep, Black Bow.
Okay. Yep. All right, because again, high damage, commander attack. Those are the big stats.
What you're looking for.
Now, let's say they don't have any of those. What do you think a 3rd one maybe for fun with gold?
You could do the Blazing Tongue, I would say. It's probably a pretty good option.
Oh, that's true. Okay. So any of those would be good gold choices. And then, of course, remember the stat order. If you're someone who doesn't have any of those and you have some other item, remember the stat order that's important. You can look yourself and kind of pick and choose. But it might be better in that case if you don't have any of those to go with a purple weapon. So what would you say a good purple weapon would be?
The Warborn Battle Axe, I think it's called.
The Battle Axe?
Sorry, yeah, that's the one.
Warborn sounds way cooler.
It does commander damage and commander attack, so that's probably the best purple.
Yeah, definitely. That probably just right off. And everyone can get that pretty much. Even if you're free to play, you're going to have that item after playing for a little while if you're just rolling free every day. So that would be the ideal one. So now let's hop straight into, man, this new Hobbit music in the background of this game is so happy. I'm getting all happy.
Vibe.
Yeah, vibing. So the chest piece, the gold chest piece, what do you think would be the best?
The Berserker's Raymond is the best attack.
High attack.
Chest pieces don't generally have very high attack, so that's probably the best one for attack. But you could also squeeze out a bit more from the Warborn plate, because you're also going to get some extra health and defense
for the commander.
Yep. Or the golden skin is also pretty good for attack as well, but it's just not as great.
Yeah, that initiative is really nice too on this, and like, gosh, yeah.
I mean,
really
initiative for physical damage dealers is a little bit lower priority because
mages and stuff.
The main reason you want initiative is to outspeed Sauron stealing your buffs. But physical damage dealers don't usually buff their troops; they're just doing damage really hard on their round. So madness immunity is nice on them if there's a way you can get it so they don't have madness on certain rounds when they're doing really heavy hits. But actual initiative is way less important of a priority for physical damage dealers.
Cool.
In most cases, and same for focus damage dealers as well.
Yeah. All right.
There's
very
just
cool.
certain
Very
skills.
cool.
Yeah.
So then, what would you say
piece?
for purple? Yeah, the chest piece.
I would say either the Scout's Mail. Yep, because it does give 4 attack and a little bit of initiative, but we talked about why that isn't as big of a deal. And then there's also the chain mail, scale mail. That's the one. Yep,
scale
commander
mail.
Attack is 5 for that one.
Okay. All right. So those are definitely so maybe the scale mail would be slightly better, you think?
Yes, probably.
Yeah, because it gives a little more HP too. So.
Yeah, it's a better in general.
Okay. So there we go. That's for the chest piece, and then we'll go with the helmet. What would you say the ideal helmet would be then?
I think the ideal helmet is the Berserker, not the guys. What's the one with the spikes on it?
In the
middle
one?
right there.
Yes.
The Cask of Pride. That's the one I'm definitely best in slot for attack.
16, just level 1, like nothing. That's crazy. Yeah.
Yep. That's a huge amount of attack. But the Berserker's guys, which you did click, is probably the second best.
The second best, yeah.
Gaze. The Berserker's Gaze is 9 attack. And then I don't know if there's a great third option.
So then at that point they probably just have to pick and choose if they have another gold if they want to use it. I'm trying to think. I don't think there really is. Most things are buffing units unless they want to make their commander very tanky, but yeah, there's not really. I mean, this one gives commander attack.
Yeah, 4. And honestly, the other helmet I think will be better than the purple helmet. Will be more attack than that one.
So the purple one you'd pick is.
Yep. The helmet.
Yes, this one.
The full helm.
The full helm. The knight helm basically is the knight helm.
Yeah, it looks like a Templar
shining armor.
Templar knight helm. Yeah.
Yeah. So that is the ideal helmet. Everyone's going to get that too over time with free to play even. So then for the last one, the accessory.
So for the accessory,
I think I know this.
This one would be the Palantir of Vorthink.
Of Vorthink. It's so weird to me that they changed it to a physical damage item from 1.0. But sorry, let's not get into that.
I think they just wanted to have a little bit of representation.
Yeah. This is a good
for all the damage types.
Yeah, they just picked one. So I would say this is probably a close second, though, right? If they had Drums of Barad-dûr.
Yes, that's definitely
so,
a close second.
And I'm trying to think. I think those are probably the best ones. I think this one has some decent attack.
Box of Knowledge is probably the third best.
Yeah, flat attack. Yeah, it just doesn't give
damage. So to be honest, sometimes like the Fine Smoking Pipe, just the fact that it has damage,
might
is
be
better than just getting like 20 attack. Having a having a high refine of that is better than having a highly strengthened attack.
Yes.
So yeah, you get what I'm saying.
Yes, and we assume everyone watching, you understand how refinement and strengthening work. We have guide videos on that if you need it. But the refine stat or the commander stat for damage always scales harder than the flat attack commander damage stat. It just scales percent much more powerful with ability because it scales with abilities and attacks. It's crazy. I think they both do, but it just scales harder. So, and for the accessory then in the purple items, would it be the I'm trying to remember which one has attack on it.
It's the fine. Oh wait, no, it's the talisman.
The
bone talisman.
Oh, yep. And that one used to be a focus item at one point. Okay, sorry, I'll stop. But yeah, there you go. That's definitely the one you're gonna want to get.
Yeah,
that 6
and
flat
this is
attack.
actually kind of decent because it gives a little bit of unit defense
yes.
on there too. But there is no purple accessory that gives damage.
Yeah, yeah. On the stat up here. Yeah. Okay.
So that's probably your best one. I think the worn pipe, whatever that one's called.
Worn out smoking
pipe gives a little attack as well.
Okay, that could be a good one if they don't have the other one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So again, then that's the ideal PvP, right? We're talking about. So now that we've covered that, for the fifth and last thing we like to cover is the set bonuses, if you can get them, because this is the hardest part, right? Especially if you're free to play, it's going to be very hard to get all of these set bonuses. But I'm just going to pick any of these and bring these up. So what do you think the ideal set bonus would be for him? It's probably going to be one of the physical damage things, right?
Yeah. So I would think that you're going to get Might is the best to spread out your physical damage plus 10 for all rounds. But since Aragorn starts doing damage in rounds 2 and 3, there's an argument that Perseverance, giving the +2 each round, will stack up a little bit more for most of the other hits. So I think that that's probably actually a little bit undervalued for a lot of damage dealers that like do damage later on in fights. But yeah, something like Warcry, for example, is only going to get its benefit on one of each of his 2 skills, and then it's going to be gone. Unless you have Rush, making things trigger on round 1.
Okay.
It's not really going to get 2 hits before that wears off. So yeah, a lot of times Warcry isn't as good for physical damage dealers.
Maybe Warcry
cooldowns and things.
So do you think you do like in order of Might being the ideal, or if they can get?
I would do probably Might, Perseverance, and then Sharp Blade.
And then like like Flay and Warcry could work, but they're
we could talk about Flay for just a quick moment since we've been glossing over it. Yeah. It is really good for breaking through high defense.
Yeah.
But most players right now don't build very high defensive characters. Frodo and Sam is one of the only ones that's around that people actually try to focus higher defense.
We have a video on that.
But yeah, but I do believe that Command doesn't get thwarted by this, so it's only their defense. So some people will focus on really high command to resist damage, but then they won't have that much defense on their units, and so for that reason, I think Flay is it feels underpowered because most people aren't stacking defense.
Okay, that's a great point. All right, so Might, Perseverance, and Sharp Blade would be kind of the ideal ones to look for with those with his items.
Yeah,
and
for
then
Aragorn,
never use upkeep for
damage
anybody.
Dealers. No. It's usually the best.
Never use upkeep. It's terrible for anybody. All right. So anyway,
if you're a whale and you want to just flex on some noobs by using upkeep and still winning the fight, then it's an option.
Oh my gosh. Well, anyway, there we go, guys. There's a quick review of Aragorn II, the Purple Commander version, or the Epic Commander, I should say, unless you ascend him with the new system, but we have videos on that. Thanks so much, guys. Thanks to my wonderful Patreons right over there. Thanks to Jethros for being here and helping us out. Baruch Hazak Kuzad menu. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next ones. See ya.